What up? What up? Here we are again. I know it seems a little dark right now, and that is because I have just finished watching the latest episode of Daredevil Reborn Again on Disney Plus, episode 7. And oh my god, they keep me on the edge with these episodes. They really do. Oh man, this is. And hopefully, I won't miss anything this time because the episode is very fresh in my mind right now. And first off, I want to bring up something that I missed on the last episode, which wasn't much of a big deal, but it was a nice little cameo. How in the last episode, Kingpin was talking to people like some as some sort of fundraiser or some shit like that, and one person that came up to him, and which I think at one point the BB report showed a video of it too, talking about vigilantes or whatever. It showed a swordsman who, if most of you don't know, he made an appearance in the Hawkeye series. Who I forgot like his code name, who he's supposed to be, or whatever, this that. But he is actually a really good swordsman, and he defends vigilantes, I guess, in the good that they're trying to do. So that was a nice cameo that happened in the last episode. But it does get into a little bit and more in this one, because in that, like I said, the guy was trying to talk to Kingpin, talking about vigilantes aren't all bad, which we realize in this episode, Kingpin really has a problem with vigilantes. Like like clearly, it picks off basically from the last episode, and yeah, it was it was a lot to like take in, I guess, because first we have Kingpin discovering that there was a survivor from Muse's attack, which is obviously Angela, and she, as I suspected, she ended up in a hospital. She lost a lot of blood, but somehow she's gonna make it. It's probably gonna take some time, and she was she was happy that she was right. She was like, my dad was right. I was right following the trails of Muse. And she was like, and then Daredevil came and beat the shit out of him, and then that's when, I guess, when she gave that report to the police, it obviously got back to Kingpin, and when he found out that obviously Daredevil took down Muse, it's like he wasn't even happy that someone got saved. The only thing that was going through his mind was that Daredevil put on the fucking mask again. He's like, I told him not to. I told him vigilante is like, it's like a crime, and he puts on the suit, and you could tell that really got under Kingpin's skin, because he started talking about the last time he had to face Daredevil, and the last time he basically did was in season 3 of the Netflix series, and he's he's still mad about it. He said he destroyed 10 years of his work. He unjustifiably sent him to prison, so he says, and he just has a grudge. Even though his right hand man tells him, he's like, hey, at least he stopped Muse. He stopped Muse. He rescued somebody, and Kingpin just can't see that Daredevil is doing good. Like he has too much of a grudge to like to see that, I guess, that he's just rather be like, I just want to take this guy down because of all the shit that he put me through, I guess. So Kingpin is obviously upset about that, and he basically wants to double down on it. He wants to send in his task force at the crime scene, try to find what they can about Daredevil mostly, and it's just like, dude, just I get it though. Like, for him to be mad, it's, he's a crime boss, and he wants to do crime, and like he talks about all this stuff about how Daredevil, does things not by the law and shit like that, and that's why he needs to be put down. But are you forgetting the fact that this dude has somebody in a cage out of jealousy, and then end up beating him to death with his bare hands? I mean, Kingpin is not any better. Like, he's worse, if anything, because Daredevil's doing it for the right reasons. Kingpin's he's just a fucking criminal. And I mean, they are two different sides of the same coin, however the fuck people say that analogy or whatever. But yeah, Kingpin is no better, and it's just like, God, like, someone needs to put this man in his fucking place again. but then we get a lot of, like, because there wasn't, I mean, we'll get to the action stuff, but there was a lot of good amount of good action. But what I like is that they show Matt Murdock and Heather, the therapist, his girlfriend. They show a nice moment with them. You see Daredevil, you see Matt Murdock taking a shower, washing off the blood, I guess, from his previous fight. And then Heather comes in the shower. It becomes a real nice, sexy scene, But she notices the bruise on his body, and I don't know if Matt's just like he knows that she knows, like, about the bruises, and he's just trying to, like, distract her by just making out with her. But it just seems like, also almost in a way, how he's like, yeah, just forget about what I do, and let's just focus on us. Let's just, be here in the moment, whatever. But then she questions him about it. Like, what's up with the bruises? I know you were in a home, stuff like that, and the stuff where, like, that happened at the bank heist. She thinks he's, like, trying to put himself in danger, and basically trying to understand, like what's going on with his life, which obviously he's not gonna tell. He doesn't want to tell. He knows the consequences if he does tell, and he just wants her to forget about it. Like he understands the good he's doing, and honestly, like, yeah, like, he does understand the good he is doing, and honestly, he even has that same conversation. But before I get into a conversation that he does have with the detective, it was a nice moment with him and Heather. They obviously do love each other. They say it, and it's just a real nice moment. How it's just nice how they just both just grew so attached to each other so quickly and got used to each other so quickly, and then they're just like they're just in this relationship where, yeah, Heather doesn't know everything about Daredevil, but or Matt Murdock, but it's, I guess it's complicated for any superhero to to be in a relationship and hide your secret identity. But he does get into a conversation of the good he's doing with the detective. Like, he even explained to him how Muse killed 60 people. If he wasn't there, if Daredevil wasn't there, it would have been 61. And he was telling the detective back when he was on the force, he asked Daredevil for help. Like, they clearly had a duo team thing going on, almost like Batman and Jim Gordon type thing going on. So it's clearly obvious that Daredevil is doing good. He has, he saved a life already. He stopped Muse. He took down his hideout because of that. And now Muse is obviously on the run. So Daredevil, he's gonna continue. He's not gonna stop. He's not gonna take a break. He knows he's out there, and he wants to take this guy down. So with that going on, there's a lot of there've been stuff going on with Kingpin and his wife. Now, they almost give you this impression that, yeah, well, first we know that his wife was obviously running things before Kingpin came back into the scene, and I guess things were good when his wife was in charge, and she got a taste of what it was like to be the boss. But now with Kingpin in charge and him wanting to be mayor, you know, other criminals, I guess, don't really know how to react to that, how to, or maybe they're just not liking it. They're not liking how the streets are being handled or some shit. But one guy, obviously, it's the same dude, but like the same. I don't even know what to call this guy. He's not even a henchman, but like a boss of one of the gangs, I guess. And he's just, suggesting to the wife how Kingpin's no good, how he wants to just take him out of the picture. And he's like, yo, if you won't do it, point me in the right direction, I will. And you almost get this sense that his wife is kind of down, and she somewhat agrees that she doesn't also understand why Kingpin wants to be mayor. What's he trying to get out of it? So you almost get the feeling that she kind of wants to take him out also to be the boss, but we end up seeing that that's not the case. We get more of Heather going to doing more therapy things, and she has this one patient, Bastion, and we saw him before. He was a fan. He read her book, and he thought he'd be a patient, and he was. He's been coming in, and then he comes, and then you get this sense, and it comes quick. You see it coming pretty quick. How yeah, this guy Bastion is Muse. It I don't even know why it was so like. I don't even know how I almost didn't see it at first, but then it just clicked to me how a detective is coming to Kingpin and giving him one suspect that, I guess, I don't know how she figured that it was him, but, well, not that they confirmed it, but she has her speculations that it could be this guy, and all the stuff that she's describing is all the stuff that this guy Bastion is saying in the therapy session, like it's cutting away scene to scene. And she's like, yeah, this guy Bastion is trained in Taekwondo, where his father hired some taekwondo master, like a super good master, and trained his like that lived with them and trained their son constantly. And Bastion talked about it in therapy, saying how I know taekwondo. He said he didn't like it. He wanted to be an artist, and it was as soon as he said artist, I was like, yeah, I get it. He wants to show his art. This is literally Muse, and it explained why he is so good in fighting. Is because he takes, he's clearly a master in taekwondo. So that's very interesting because his fighting techniques is really up there, and I'm pretty sure and I'm pretty sure Daredevil was surprised by his fighting too, because I like that Daredevil was kicking his ass, but I also like that Muse had some good moves himself. It made the fight that much more awesome. So as Bastion is saying all this, the third Heather is picking it up quickly. You see the fear in her face, and you know that how good that Muse is, or Bastion, whatever, that she's not gonna get away easily out of that room. So then, and the thing is, we got that whole I love you too with Matt and Heather, and they were just they. It felt like their relationship was so much more serious, and that they really felt and cared for each other. Like clearly, Heather worries for Matt. That's why she like questions about the bruises. Like, and Matt, I feel like he's just happy to be in a relationship, happy to care about somebody, happy that someone cares about him. That it almost made you think that, oh my God, this girl Heather's not going to get out alive. That Matt is going to have to go through losing somebody, because when something gets that good, it just quickly vanishes from your life. And I really almost thought that Heather was about to kick the bucket. As soon as, Muse had her tied up, cutting her wrist, and I had to look away, because when they start cutting skin like that, like I can't look at it. Like that needle injection is like I can't. So I was like, yo, she's gonna be losing a lot of blood, because her cut was just plain open. He's strangling her, she's trying to get away, and I was just like, oh my God, Daredevil's not gonna get there in time. But thank God, he just bursted through that window, and oh my God, it was just like the scene that they had in the train tunnels all over again. He was just going to town on this guy, doing Daredevil shit. And at this point, and it was pretty cool because, first of all, Daredevil had to go to the train tunnels back to the scene of the crime to get more clues, and it was pretty cool how he was feeling the pictures, he was touching them, feeling. I guess he could feel what he was painting and drawing. He could feel like each stroke of the brush or something like that, and it was pretty cool how it reminded him, like, he doesn't know that much what Heather looks like, but they even showed that he felt her face before. Like he just wanted to know. I guess that's how blind people know how people look, by touching their face. So he got a sense of what she kind of looked like, and by feeling the picture, he put two and two together so quickly. And so the Kingpin also, well, they knew by looking at it that they just knew it was the therapist, and and then they were both there. When had Heather tied up, Daredevil and not Kingpin, but his vigilante task force got there, and Obviously, when they had the place surrounded, Daredevil was obviously, just like I said, just beating the shit out of him. I loved it when he uses that grappling hook. Oh my god, it's so cool. It's like it really does give him an advantage in the fights, and when he used it to stab through Muse, and I guess he yanked him with it. Like, oh my god, that shit was like, Muse was just covered in blood. So like Daredevil like was really fucking him up. I mean, there was times that you almost thought that Daredevil wasn't gonna make it, but he is very, very skilled. Like, I feel like the only time Daredevil would have trouble, I mean, he had trouble when he fought Bullseye, but if he fights Kingpin, he will have trouble because Kingpin is just brute strength. And I mean, we clearly saw that in the last episode too, that Kingpin still has it. He still got the power. So it would be interesting to see if he ever fights Daredevil, because that would just be so awesome. But Daredevil fighting Muse was just amazing. And then something just threw me off guard like a motherfucker. That Heather grabs the gun and shoots Muse multiple, like, I think she emptied, I don't know if she emptied the clip, but shot him like at least 3 times through the chest. Clearly dead right after that. and and then you even see the shock on Daredevil's face. Surprisingly, but like, he wears a mask, but you just knew that he was also just like, what the fuck. But after she shot him, she fainted, and that's when you think she's gonna die. You're like, oh yeah, she killed him, but now she's gonna die right after, and you're just like, what the fuck, yo? Because if she died right after, I was like, oh my god, it would have been, I would have been so upset. I really would have been so upset. I would have been like, damn, Matt Murdock can't catch a break. Daredevil can't catch a break. But yeah, that's when, like I said, that's when Kingpin's assistant wants to call in um, the reporter from the BB report, his friend, and tell her, yo, it was the anti-vigilante task force that took down Muse, not Daredevil. He didn't save the therapist. And Kingpin, even, when the vigilante task force got there, they saw it. They saw the mess. They were there with Kingpin, and they told him that, yeah, we can tell that, it wasn't just her. Daredevil was here. He took down Muse, and Kingpin is so stubborn. He really hates vigilantes that he's like, no. That even though that Kingpin took down a fucking serial killer, Kingpin still wants to be like, nah, I'm not gonna let him have this victory. I'm not gonna let him prove me right that you guys took down Muse, that the anti-vigilante task force took down Muse, and that's what he told the press. That's when his assistant is telling the reporter the BB report, because she's obviously saying, yeah, Daredevil took down Muse, and he's giving her a warning, saying like, yo, if you want to keep telling the truth, Kingpin's gonna end up stopping you. And hopefully, I mean, she's following the same route as her father, because he also was about to out Kingpin or Wilson Fisk for being the Kingpin or whatever, and he paid the price for it. So hopefully his daughter will not meet that same fate. Hopefully at least Daredevil will help her. but we get all of that, and it was just, it all happened really fast. You know, the Matt Murdock just interacting with Heather, that led her into that was simultaneously moving Matt Murdock to the hospital to get clues, to see what Muse was going after, that led him to Heather, that had Heather, having an appointment with this guy Bastion at that same moment after the fight with Matt Murdock, and then he ends up wanting to. I mean, he's. I mean, he says that she's the reason. Like, I guess because when he read her book is when he wanted to start putting his art out into the city, into the world or whatever, and I guess he felt to thank her was to kill her. I don't know. Maybe he thought he thanked her in the session and that she'd be happy about it. I don't think so. But it was really good, and we get that one boss from the gang. It's it goes back to him, and he gets the text that uh, Wilson's wife Vanessa sends him the address saying he's alone, and she's talking about um, Kingpin, and you're thinking, wow, she really is betraying him, and you're just like, damn, because I guess she does want to be in charge. But then obviously when he gets there and he sees him by himself, I kind of saw it coming, the way he's sitting. He's coming up on him, about to shoot him with a gun, until Kingpin's right hand man obviously just shoots him already in the head, and he's done. So, and Kingpin's just casually eating there, his food, being the boss that he is, and like, and then you're just like, all right, I guess he's out of the picture, and I guess it shows you that his wife is loyal to him. Either that or she just fears him, because you have every right to fear the Kingpin. So, and it ends there, and you're just like, wow, a lot just happened. Like, we find out Angela Del Toro's alive, good. She's happy that her father's mission is kind of done, and yeah, we get the end of Muse. Shot a couple times by Heather, who does feel bad about it, but Matt Murdock was there in the hospital with her, and he told her, he's like, you had no choice. The dude killed like 60 people, they said. I mean, he was a straight up serial killer. I don't feel bad for her for killing him. I mean, yeah, good riddance. I mean, when the detectives got there at his lair, I mean, they saw what he was doing. They see all the tools he was using, the people on hooks from the ceiling, and one of the detectives was the same one from the bank heist, the Asian lady, but I forgot her name. I got to get back to that, because I did not think we were going to see her again, but clearly we did. and yeah, and it was they she and yeah, Heather had no right to feel bad, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people were happy that he was dead, and Matt Murdock being there to comfort her. I mean, when he was there in the scene when she was losing the blood and he was dressed as Daredevil, he was calling her by name, and she mentioned that to Matt, that saying that Daredevil was there and he knew my name, but she's not really sure because obviously she was losing blood. Her memory was fuzzy. So I, I'm not sure, but I felt like that just like that gives me a little hint to whether or not she might end up finding out that Matt Murdock is Daredevil. But I mean, I kind of do. I don't mind. Like I kind of like it. I like it when the hero's love interest kind of knows their secret identity. So it'll be nice if she knows. But I guess people say that Karen is the one that he's supposed to be with, and she already knows his secret. So, but maybe this one too. I mean, I don't know how many love interests Matt Murdock has, but he seems to have a lot, including She-Hulk. But it was just a great episode. A lot of stuff that they're building up. A lot more with the anti-vigilante task force. You could tell they're really gonna do more with that. I feel like we got the end of Muse, I guess, which is not bad because if I'm not mistaken, and I might be wrong, I'm not sure. There might be 9 episodes total. So that means the next 2 episodes could focus on Daredevil versus Kingpin. It will focus on that because Kingpin seems so obsessed with Matt Murdock breaking his rule and getting back in the suit. He's really upset about that, and he's doing everything he can to take Daredevil off the street. But it seems hard for him to even catch him on the scene. So Matt Murdock seems to be almost a one step ahead type thing. Um, but yeah, I'm loving it. So I think the next 2 episodes is gonna focus more on Daredevil and Kingpin. I mean, we got Angelo Del Toro in the hospital recovering. We got the therapist Heather in the hospital recovering. So they might not be on the scene as much. So all we really have is Matt Murdock, the other detective that knows his secret, Kingpin, his crew, the BB reporter, and I don't know if they're gonna do more with Matt's partner in the firm because they seem not to do that much with her, other than her helping out with the Hector case. You know, like I noticed, like yeah, she almost had a thing going on with Foggy, and I guess that's why he became partners with her. But I feel like she could be reliable if he lets her in on his secret. But we've seen the consequences of of people that knew his secret. So I guess it's best that he stayed distant from people. But maybe he's starting to learn to trust again. I don't know. We'll see how the next 2 episodes come out, and maybe they'll drop them both back to back. Maybe it might be a 2-episode season finale. Um, I really hope so. It will feel like a fucking movie then. But yeah, hopefully this video was good, and I hope you enjoyed it, because especially talking about it after literally just watching it, like the fight scenes is what sticks in my mind. Like I just love it because I think they even had like such a really good stunt coordinator for it. So, and that's the thing, when you get a really good stunt coordinator, the fights just look so intense. Like get the same guys who did it for the Winter Soldier, because whew, amazing. So I will catch you next time to talk more amazing Daredevil and Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.